Hello, welcome. It'll be just a moment before we get started. Come here. Oh. We'll begin in 2 minutes. For anyone who's watching, before we get started, I want to give you the opportunity to grab a unique prop for this evening. A scarf or anything that you have that you're able to wrap around your eyes this evening. Go ahead and grab that now. It is always an option to you, but I hope you'll join us with covering our eyes because it's at the core of the purpose of our class today, this evening. Additionally, if you have a yoga block or pillows around, grab some. Dana, would you please throw me a couple of pillows?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, folks. It is 6 o'clock Mountain Standard Time here in Denver, Colorado. This evening, coming to you live from my home space in the beautiful Denver, Colorado. And if you're just joining, the prop I suggest to you this evening is a scarf or anything that you can wrap around your eyes. Maybe you want to grab the string from a robe, something thin that you can wrap around your eyes. So let's give this a shot if you're willing to join us. Take a moment to first drape it across your eyes and then tie it gently, softly, in a way that it can stay in place. If at any point in class it removes or needs to be readjusted, just take a moment to give it a fair shot. If you decide that it's not right for you, that's an option available to you. So in class today, we'll listen. You'll listen to my voice. We'll all listen for the inherent knowledge that's within us. Join me, sitting up on a block. 3 easy steps to drop in. First, we find our seat. We find our position for our feet. We find our shoulders over our hips. We find our hands in our lap. We create a tall seat with a long spine. And the third thing we do after we find our seat, after we find stillness, the third thing we do is find our focus. Right here, let that be your breath. We're going to get quiet. We're going to connect with our breath slowly, gradually, consistently. With the deprivation of our senses, we can go deeper. Let us unlock layers. Let us tap in. Let us utilize this practice of yoga to raise our consciousness and to unlock the potential for our human optimization. Listen to your breath. Let the waves of your breath flow in and out. Focus on your exhales. The inhales will come. Inviting in some space between our breaths adds to our awareness. It increases the awareness as we increase stillness. I'd like for you, as you're ready, to slowly make your way down to child's pose by removing your block. By bringing your knees as wide as your mat. Your toes together. Your arms extended long. And lastly, your third eye. The area between your eyebrows at the center of your intuition. Rest gently and firmly on the mat below you. Continue to cultivate your connection with your breath here. Gently rock your head left to right, cradling along that third eye center location. Rocking up and down, left and right. Just gently rocking the center of your forehead into the ground below you. Spread your fingers wider, as wide as you can. Become strong in your arms, and then become soft. To all of us, I propose the question, what is it within us that we need to know? What inherent knowledge deep within us is already available to us. What ways can we utilize our breath and our movement to bring ourselves and our center to a heart space? What do we need to maintain our life in that heart space? With every breath, we sink deeper into the mat, below our hands, below our knees, below our feet. We consciously picture our center of gravity lowering. And because we picture it, so it does. And with our eyes covered, there is nowhere to see but inward. And anything we see on the screen of our mind, we can see on the screen of our life. Continue to cultivate a deeper connection to your breath. And as you are ready and available and interested, please rise to tabletop position. If your eye cover needs any support or adjustment, go ahead and take that now. Tabletop position is with our joints stacked of our arms and our legs. So our shoulders are over our elbows, over our wrists. Our hips are placed directly over our knees. Become strong here in this tabletop. Spread your fingers wide. Become firm. Upon an exhale, arch your back. Look to your belly button. Cat pose. Inhale forward, cow. Chest forward, shoulders back. Exhale, press into your hands. Look back to your belly button, cat. Inhale, cow. 3 more at your pace. Feeling it at every centimeter of your spine. Through the entire ray of the light down the center of your core. Feel it deeply. As many more as you choose. If you like tabletop, you do more. If you're sick of tabletop, you wait for us patiently, please. On tabletop. And we meet back in this tabletop position. And as this is a new moment, every position is new. Every moment we come to it, let it be stronger. Allow the sounds around you to encourage you to deeply connect with your voice, to hear it, to let it guide you. Press into your left hand. As you inhale, bring your right hand directly out in front of your shoulder, like you're reaching out to grab the hand of the person reaching to give you safety. Then lift back your left leg. We're balancing on the left hand, the right knee, the right foot. We're using our core to remain strong here. On our inhales, we pull our hands, our fingers as far away from our toes as we can. Our hips are aligned parallel with the mat. And upon an exhale, we will come back down to tabletop position. No rush to go anywhere ever. We become stronger in this table. We could become firmer. We become the foundation. As you exhale, press down with your right hand into the mat to create stability. And as you inhale, your left hand comes up. Become grounded through your right hand as we move to it for stability, inhaling to bring the right leg back. Just as we did on the other side, stretching as far as you can from your fingers to your toes. We're learning our body awareness here as we can only feel. We cannot see in a mirror or with our eyes where our body is today. We feel for it. Feel the alignment of your hips. Feel the stretch from your toes to your fingers. And as you're ready, come back down. Tabletop. Sit back onto your heels and lift up to toes twist. So we come up onto our toes and then our knees drop back down. If we need help getting our little toe, our pinkiest of our toes onto the ground, we help it. And then we allow the hips to slowly lower back down, to lower our center of gravity. We watch in our mind our center lower, and so it does. We acknowledge that toes twist becomes uncomfortable quickly. As it does, we press our thighs together, we sit taller, we engage our core. We further engage our breath. We deeply become connected to our breath so that we can make it through moments like this. We become strong. We breathe. If you are uncomfortable, you stay. If you are unbearable, take 2 more breaths and then go. Stay as long as you can today. If you need to carry on, you are welcome to come down to child's pose. It is important that we give love to our toes, to our feet. We ask our feet to get us everywhere we'd like to go for the rest of our life. The very least we can do is give our toes some love here on our yoga mat. If you're still here in toes pose, 3 more breaths. Each time, deepen this stretch. Each time you breathe in, each time you breathe out. Upon your 3rd exhale, please come back down to tabletop. Knees wide, toes together, arms out in front. Third eye center drops directly down. We use an exhale to drop down even further. We visualize ourselves getting grounded and lowering down, and thus we are. We visualize our dreams, and thus they are. We visualize ourselves moving to our heart, and thus we do. Please lift up, back up to tabletop. As with every tabletop, we become stronger. Press down evenly through both hands. And on an inhale, flip your toes and lift your knees slightly. Upon an exhale, we'll lift our hips to downward facing dog. Straight arms, flat back, straight or bent knees. Anytime that our head is below our heart, we are pumping freshly oxygenated blood to our head so our brain can be well oiled, so that we can sleep, so that we can wake, so that we can thrive, so that we can nourish. Pedal out your legs. It's always important. If you didn't already do that, go ahead and pedal out your legs, dropping one heel down. As you exhale, inhale to both bend. Exhale, bring the other down. Get dramatic with your breath. Let it be. One more round of dropping the heel. Inhale and then drop the other. Take one breath with straight legs and downward facing dog, and then please walk your hands back to the back of your mat. Hands walk back to meet feet. Perhaps a heat is building within you based on the wrap around your eyes. Allow it to deepen your connection to your practice, to the moment, to the evening. We have a strong bend in our knees here in ragdoll pose. Our torso is connected to our thighs. Our head hangs heavy. We find either a grip of grabbing for opposite elbow, or perhaps today you'd like to bring your hands to your low back, to your sacrum. Let every exhale relax you further. Drop your head further down in this forward fold position. We're also going to be here a little bit longer than we typically are today. Our head is below our heart. We're connecting to the deep rooted, inherent ability within us. Because we trust that it is there, it is there. If you took a grip, you may release it. But then, before we move on, take 2 more breaths. And with each one, take an opportunity to let your head drop further. And then as you're ready, you can bring your toes together. If you prefer to stand hip width distance, that is always available to you too. Inhale to bring your legs straight, lifting up to a halfway lift. Hands to shins or thighs. Exhale, forward fold, straight legs, flat back down. Again, inhale, half lift. And exhale, forward fold. We're going to inhale and lift up to standing, to mountain pose. Take your time getting there, please. If you have the ability or willing to come vertebrae by vertebrae, come on up, slow. Take 3 breaths, take 5 breaths to get there. And then arrive with your hands at your sides. With your spine tall, with your legs long. Feel the ground below you. We must be trusting. In this position here, we don't have the ability to see. So with our hands facing forward and our fingers spread wide, use them as your tentacles to feel. Use them as your superpower to figure out where you are in time and space. And next, use the bottom of your feet. Familiarize yourself here with every single edge of your foot. Every edge around, every edge within. With each inhale, I ask that you stand taller. With each exhale, I ask that you bring the energy down, rooting down all the way through your root, through your legs, through the floor to the center of the earth. Again, inhale, stand tall. Exhale, root down. Because we see the root it is. 2 more breaths as such. Inhale, stand tall. Shoulders come slightly back, chest comes slightly up. Exhale, picture the bottoms of your feet connecting to the center of the earth. One last one. Stand as tall as you ever have. Exhale, grind as deep as you ever have. Inhale to bring your hands at the base of your neck. Your fingers interlace. So fingers are interlaced, bracing for the back of your neck. Once here, we stand tall. We check in that all of our joints are stacked, from our ankles to our knees, to our hips, to our shoulders, to the skull on top. And once we're here, take a moment to link your breath to movement, inhaling to spread your elbows wide. As you exhale, bring them just 1 inch in. Inhale to bring them wider. Exhale as you micro adjust, bringing them in. And now very gently, feel the sensation of creating traction on your spine by pulling up a little bit on your neck. Remember, in yoga, we allow and welcome discomfort. We move away from pain. I feel a strong rush within my whole body, from my fingers to my toes. Inhale, spread your elbows wider. Exhale, here. As you inhale, bring your hands directly up above you. Hands facing into one another. And then bring your pinkies slightly in a real minor adjustment at your wrist. And here we stand even taller. We stand even prouder. Upon an exhale, fingers come together and ride down through your center. All the way to a forward fold. As our hands then walk back to the front of our mat. And we drop down. First through child's pose. 3 breaths here in child's pose. Come forward to high plank. High plank is like tabletop, except our knees are up. Our shoulders are over our elbows, over our wrists. Our joints are stacked. Our elbows are coming back. And we're going to lower all the way down, slowly, like a board. We come down, toes come together. Big toes together, feet go long. And then we lift up to Sphinx pose. So we come onto our elbows, fingers down onto the mat, pressing through widely spread fingers, finding traction of pulling back on the elbows and also on the hands as our chest comes forward, our shoulders come back, and our hips press into the mat below. We work on our spinal strength here. And then if you would like to straighten your arms, you may do so. Continuing to find a focus on your hips, grounding down. Pulling your hands back towards you as your chest comes high and your shoulders come back. Toes are pressing into the mat so much that your knees rise. I now invite you to release, coming down to the mat. Left ear to the mat, look to the right. Please bring your hands alongside you. Your palms are up towards the ceiling. As all of your body reaches down to the ground, you exhale and you lower down. You release. Check in on your shoulders. If you're holding tension in your shoulders, they might need to come down to the mat. Come back to your chin. We have just one more in our spine strengthening series. We welcome in today, wheel pose. Bend at your knees. Grab for your feet. Let this be your strongest real pose yet, if you have that within your body today. Our hands press into our feet, our shoulders surrender. We lift on an exhale, so all together on the ground we inhale. And as we exhale, we kick, we lift. This does not need to be overly strenuous. Surrender your shoulders, kick further. Knees stay together, knees lift, chest lifts. 2 more breaths. And we release. We look to the left, we bring the right ear down. Upon an exhale, we release. We ground down further. Please bring your left arm out from your shoulder. Please bring your right hand directly alongside your right nipple, the right side of your chest. We're moving into the intense shoulder stretch that those of you that have practiced with me have done. You may know. We do it in 3 steps. Listen closely. If you don't know it, you're welcome to remove your eye cover and look. But meet the challenge of listening. You take your left arm that is extended directly out from the shoulder. You pull your left hand towards you as you press your left shoulder into the mat. That's step 1. Step 2 is your right shoulder lifts up with the support of your right hand. The 3rd step is that your right foot lands between your left leg, behind your left leg. And once we're here, with the right shoulder up, the left shoulder pressing into the mat, we keep the left arm active. So spread the fingers. Continue to consciously connect your palm to the floor. Send your breath into your left shoulder. It is also just as simple as thinking, send this breath to my left shoulder, and because we say it does, it does. It's all much simpler than we let it be. In this intense shoulder stretch, we always make time for 2 rounds. So at your pace, as you are ready, allow the right side of your chest to slowly lower down. We are very gentle and slow between these poses. And then your right arm comes out, your left hand comes in. Your right palm connects to the floor. If you are on a hardwood floor or have the ability to find traction, you feel that under your palm. And regardless of whether you are, you press your right shoulder into the mat as your arm extends long and stays flat. So step 1, shoulder in. Step 2, shoulder up. So the left shoulder comes up. Step 3, your left foot lands behind your right leg. While this pose does not have a fancy Sanskrit name, it is to be well respected and loved. I consider this pose very important and sacred. We hold our stressors, a lot of our stressors in our shoulders. If we come to this position more often, we will be less familiar with the sensation of the whole world sitting on our shoulders. The whole world sitting on our shoulders comes from a place of love, of us wanting to help, to do. The more that we come to this, the more we can do. As you are ready, I welcome you to go on to the 2nd round, letting your left side of your chest come down. Letting your right hand come in. Your left comes out. As we did before, 3 easy steps. Shoulder down, or left at this point. Shoulder down, shoulder up, foot comes behind. If you like to bring in an arm variation in this intense shoulder stretch, you're welcome to lift your right hand off of the mat, lifting your fingers high towards the ceiling, or bringing your hand to your right hip, your lifted hip. With an exhale, picture your shoulder dropping deeper. With an exhale, picture a stressor releasing. Not necessarily an actual stressor you have. Maybe it's just a little pop, and their stressor is gone. I personally could stay here forever, but I'm going to go on to the other side. I'll let the right shoulder drop down, right chest drop down. Or bring the left hand in, the right hand out. Shake it all about. You guys know where you're going. You know what you're doing. So right hand and right shoulder into the mat. Left shoulder high. Left foot behind the right leg. We do these 2 rounds because our body then knows what we're doing. So let the first round be a, hey body, we're going deep. Let round 2 go as deep as you choose. Check in with yourself. Where is your cultivation of your breath? It is never too late to deepen. Send a breath into your shoulder. Breathe for yourself, breathe for another. Always breathe for yourself first. You're welcome to release gently, very, very gently, lowering the left shoulder down your left side of your chest as we roll onto our back into a supine position. We are here in our supine and we find a full body stretch. We stretch from the fingers to the toes as long as we can. If you have your pillows close, grab them, bring them to the side of your mat, or bring them so that you can grab. Inhale again to stretch as long as you can, and as you exhale, bring your knees towards your body and grab for the outside of your shins. Ride a breath to bring your hips back down. Before we move on, 2 breaths. Squeezing tighter, squeezing closer with your knees each breath. At the end of your exhale, allow your left leg to grow long, stretch long as your right knee stays in. And we then take the interlaced grip just below the right knee. Once there, we become familiar with the placement of our spine. Our shoulders flat, our hips are flat, our spine flat between. And now we reacquaint ourselves with the sensation of riding an exhale to bring the knee back. Take a moment on your next exhale to feel the sensation of that ride. Press your left foot, your left heel, gently into the mat as you bring your toes of your left foot to curl back towards your face. That gives you a little bit more room. So again, follow an exhale to guide your knee further up. We're in no rush ever. And most certainly not on these Sunday night classes. Take your time here. If you're anxious to move on to supine twist, you're welcome. If you feel connected to this moment of this hip stretch, stay. When you are ready to move on, take your left hand to your right knee. Bring your right arm out. Grab for your pillows and bring them to the left side of your mat. The pillows will act as a support as we bring the knee across and then shimmy the left hip under. That allows our hips to stack. Our joints are stacked. You hear that a lot in yoga. It's important. It's how we protect our safety through alignment. Shoulders are flat. We're looking up or out towards the right arm. The left arm acts just as a guide, as a place setting, holding our knee in this restorative position. And we use the exhales to deepen the twist. Check in with your breath. Let it be loud. Let it be clear. Let it be smooth. Let it feel smooth. You may invite in the sensation of pulling your belly button in towards your spine upon an exhale. You may just welcome time and gravity. We take a moment here in the silence. Our breath is the guide. You may stay or carry on. As you carry on, you please bring your right knee back towards your right shoulder. Please again find the interlaced grip and take a ride. Left heel into the mat, left toes back towards the face. Exhale and ride. One more just like that. Inhale, stretch long through the toes, through the leg, through the hips, through the knee. Exhale, ride it back. As you inhale, the left knee comes up towards the left shoulder. We grab for each leg right below the knee, and on an exhale, we very gently ride the knees back towards each shoulder. Hips align, hips lower. Before we move on today, right now, feel the sensation at your sacrum that we felt with our third eye on the mat before. So gently rotate your hips. Let the center of your sacrum be that center of your third eye. Let the cradle create the grounding. And then follow an exhale and take that ride as you lower down further into the mat. As you're ready, allow your right leg to be long. Invite your left knee to come closer, to follow the lead of the right, and ride a breath. Hips are flat, shoulders are flat. Spine aligns the two flatly between. We press the right heel in. We curl the right toes back towards the face. And with each exhale, we ride. We inhale And then we exhale to ride the breath. Our shoulders are where we hold stressors, and our hips are where we can hold our unprocessed emotions. Send a breath to your hip. And as you're ready, take your right hand to your left knee. Bring your left arm out, grab for the pillows if you've got them, bring them to the right side. Again, left arm is long, and with an exhale, we guide. We shimmy the right hip under. We bring the left knee down to the pillows. We exhale, and we ride the breath. Let it be gentle, let it be loving. We're looking up towards the ceiling or the sky, or out towards the left, out towards our extended arm. And remind yourself that in these yoga shapes, we need not care about the extent at which we stretch. As deeply as we are able to go is of no matter, as is the sensation of deeply integrating this pose and feeling it throughout your body. I remind you because I need to remind me that our right hand, the one that is on our left knee, expels no energy here. It just holds. Always a breath out through the mouth calms. It calms the mind, it calms the nervous system. It brings us closer to rest. Let's bring the left knee in when you're ready. In towards the shoulder. We find that same grip, the interlaced grip, just below the left knee. And we ride a breath back. We're now familiar with the sensation of riding that left knee back as the right foot presses into the ground. We ride 2 more breaths. As we exhale, we release, we cleanse, we clear, we cleanse. We rid ourselves of what we no longer need. We never forget to inhale and replace with the freshness. As you do inhale, please bring your right knee up. And then the knees come back. Left knee to left shoulder, right to right. Gently press your knees together and bring your feet down to the mat. Butterfly position of your feet. So your feet are together. Your knees are spreading wide. Please grab one pillow beneath each of your knees. And then please bring one hand to your heart, one to your belly. Check in that your eye covering is safe and supported. Feel your heartbeat. Feel your breath. Feel your aliveness. Feel your pain, feel your sorrow, feel your surrender. Feel your joy, feel your light. Fill your cup. Every one of us will be better connected to our human experience tomorrow because we took this moment to tether. Inhale deeply, and as you exhale, visualize the back of your heart lowering down to the mat. Again, with an exhale, we visualize our body lowering, and so it does. Resisting the urge to move, to twitch, to fidget, we allow our breath to be our movement. We allow the sensation of our breath and the sound of my voice to soothe us. We allow our exhales to calm us. Your heart is as present or more at the back and your spine. Allow your breath to lower you down. And as you inhale, pull the energy through the hand over your heart. As you exhale, press that energy out through the hand over your belly. Again, inhale to take some love and put it in your belly. Our breath is calmer here, and it is more connected. Let your breath be loud for you. Let it be loud for your neighbor. Let your breath be strong for you, for your grandchildren, for your grandfathers. In our moments of meditation, we take the ability of neuroplasticity and we repay pathways. We restructure DNA. The calmer we get, the quieter we get, the closer we get to healing our ancestors, to healing ourselves, to healing our planet, to healing our relationships, to healing our heart. We exhale, we drop our heart deeper. My current truth in my human experience is that all that matters, all there is love. There's many expressions of the human experience that look unlike love. but they're only just fear from expressing love. Exhale, drop your heart deeper. Our next position will be the second to last and be our transition to our final resting pose, Shavasana. As you are ready, please take your hands, lift them off of your belly, off of your torso, and bring them to the outside of your knees. Again, our knees come together with the support of our hands. Our hands outside of our knees guide. Our feet are now planted firmly on the floor. Knees come together, knees comes towards us. We find a grip outside of our shins. Our hips lower back down. We take 5 breaths to get there. As we inhale, we fill our lungs to capacity. As we exhale, we squeeze our knees together. At the bottom of our exhale, we pause. Inhale, the biggest breath you have yet. As you exhale, knees come together, knees come towards your chest. At the bottom of your exhale, stay empty. Inhale. At the top of your inhale, stay full. Pause. Exhale. Squeeze and engage. One more, the biggest breath in you've ever had. Exhale, the tightest squeeze you've ever given. Inhale to bring your forehead up to your knees. Pause. Squeeze. Exhale, Shavasana. Shavasana is our final resting pose. Our feet are as wide as our mat or wider. Our toes fall out to the side. We have options with our pillows, with our blankets, with our props, to bring pillows below the knees. Our fingers point up towards the ceiling with our palms facing up towards the sky, the top of our hands pressing to the ground. Before completely releasing, I ask that you inhale through your nose and pause at the top. Allow some pressure to build up. Get uncomfortable. Let the air travel around your lungs. Let it pick up anything that was left over we have not released yet. And as you must, exhale. One more as such. Inhale through the nose. Once you're full, hold. Pressure builds up. Travels around your lungs. Travels around your being. As we must, we exhale through the mouth. And then we be. No longer controlling our breath. Let it be natural. Take a moment to finally, lastly, visualize yourself lower. as deeply as you can. You are at one time lowering down to the center of the earth and simultaneously floating high to the cosmos. Now get really still. Meet the challenge of staying still as we welcome in the answers, the secrets, the knowledge. We must get very quiet as our guides whisper, and the messages are subtle. We will move slowly and with intention as we enter back into the evening. You know, you are always welcome to stay right here. If you are ready to move on, begin to move your fingers as slowly as you can, as micro adjustments as you're able. Wiggle your toes. And moving from our tiniest extremities to our larger arms and our legs, we bring our heels together. And the arms stretched long above head. And let it be your longest stretch yet. On an exhale, you'll bring your knees in. And then you'll roll over onto your side using your bicep as a pillow. As you're ready, once you've made sure not to rush through the sweetness of this transition, please join me in a seated position. We end class where we started. We lift our hips via a pillow or a block. We find our seats we find stillness, we find our focus, and we find our peace. All of the answers are right inside. If we quiet down, and if we ask, we'll have every answer we ever needed. Sit a bit taller. Connect to the vision of the white light from your root to your crown, from the crown to the cosmos, from the root to the center. Again, we visualize the white light that goes to the center of our body, extending to the center of the earth, into the depths of the cosmos. As you inhale, please lift your hands to bring your fingers together in front of your heart. Fingers together, base of your hand together. As you exhale, let your shoulders lower, let your center lower. Feel more deeply integrated, connected breath. With each inhale, press your hands further together, sit taller. With each exhale, lower to the center. Upon your next inhale, please lift your thumbs to your third eye. Press your thumbs into your third eye. Inhale, sit taller. Exhale, sit deeper. Inhale. And as we exhale, chest comes forward as we hinge at the hips to bend forward and seal our practice with the word Namaste. What a unique and wonderful experience teaching with this eye cover on. I felt deeply integrated into the practice this evening, into the guidance, and into the heart-centered space of channeling words that are not mine. A practice that is thousands of years old. It is with absolute honor that I have this opportunity to guide you on Sunday evening, to help me reel it in, to help you reel it in, for all of us to have a tether to the week ahead. Next week I'll be in Berlin, and I can't wait to guide you in your practice. Same time for you, 1 a.m. for me. I love you all. I'm so thankful for you. I'll see you next week. Please make sure to subscribe if you haven't.